Hey there, it's Isi Joby, business and career growth strategist and founder of Powerful Women Make Power Moves, a community of Black millennial women who are determined to kill it in their careers and win in their lives. So today I'm sharing 10. Well, it was going to be 10, but I think it's more like 15. I didn't really count. Positions and opportunities at dream companies that you probably didn't know existed. Now, when I am helping women land their dream jobs, I have them dream big. Okay. And a lot of times people don't think that their passions and their interests can collide with their career. Now, there are some hobbies and interests that might stay outside of work, it might stay in the hobby lane. For example, if you really love knitting, you might not want to work at a company that focuses on knitting. Now, you might, and that is an option, but you also can just keep knitting a hobby. But if you know you really love beauty, you eat, sleep, breathe beauty, there's no reason why you can't work for Fenty Beauty or you can't work for Sephora doing the work that you love. So I'm going to talk about some positions at some of your favorite companies that you probably didn't know existed, right? And one thing I want you to understand is though companies might feel like they do one thing, so when you think Netflix, for example, you might think, oh, Netflix, TV, film production, but Netflix still has an accounting department. Netflix still has an HR department. Netflix still needs project management. Netflix still needs data analyzation. So listen, the world is your oyster and there are so many opportunities. And when you start to discover the type of opportunities that you really love at these dream companies, what you can do is take those positions. Because one thing I find is there are so many different types of positions out there, right? And people just don't know they exist. We know like 10 jobs in the world, right? Like HR, teacher, doctor, engineer, lawyer. Like we literally know like 10 titles. No one tells you that there's something called an actuary, or you can be an instructional design coach, or there's just so much you can do at companies. And it's really about doing the work to uncover these dream jobs. They're literally right under your nose, but you just didn't know they existed, and you didn't know they were for you, and you didn't know that you would fit them so well. And what it really takes is you doing the research, and you start to read these job descriptions. You're like, wait, I did a little bit of this in my last job. I do that right now. I do a lot of this at this job. And a couple years ago, I did a lot of that. And I've been taking courses around that. And if you bring it all together, it's like, oh my gosh, you would slay that position, okay? So I have my trusty notes with me, and I'm gonna read off some cool opportunities I saw literally today. So that means they're open and listed. I actually sent an opportunity to a woman that applied to work with me because I saw that she was doing like e-commerce management, and I was like, hey, she would be good for this role at Kendo. And I'm going to tell you what Kendo is in a second if you don't know what it is. So the first opportunity I saw is a content planner at Apple. So we know Apple, very innovative. And when you think Apple, you're like software engineer. I have to design or I can't get in. But Apple has a content planner position available. Apple also has an operations program manager that focuses on inclusion and diversity. Fenty, the clothing line. So Fenty, there's Fenty Beauty and Fenty, the clothing line. Fenty, the clothing line currently has a position open for manager of influencer relations and marketing. So you talk to influencers all day long, I presume. They also have a position in global fulfillment. Okay, so this is actually Fenty Beauty has a position in global fulfillment as an analyst, right? They also have a position for a senior manager of operations for their e-commerce division. Kendo, which is the beauty house that houses all of LVMH, yeah, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton's parent company. You know how it has like 75 companies in it, and they pretty much own like all the big beauty brands and everything. So Kendo is where those beauty companies sit, like it manages all the beauty companies. And so you would touch the Fenty Beauty, you would touch Estee Lauder, you would touch all the different types of companies. Now, the thing about Kendo is they'll also hire for certain positions for certain brands. Like Ole Henriksen, they had a position, I believe, for like a brand marketer. And so they do get that granular, but there's a position for a cost accountant. So the cost accountant is the person who does the accounting for all the beauty brands. So at first it might seem kind of weird, but imagine you get to work at a company where you eat, sleep, and breathe beauty, right? But then you get to take your hardcore finance and accounting skills and apply them. So to work in beauty, you don't have to ditch your financial background and your accounting background, you can merge the two. YouTube is hiring a quality manager of content moderation. So sometimes we might have these dreams like, I want to be a content creator 100% all day, every day. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. And that might be something you're starting on the side. But do you know you could essentially create content or moderate content, moderate content for brands, right? So YouTube has someone who does content moderation. And this person's a quality manager. YouTube Music is looking for a senior manager of marketing analytics. So if you're a numbers person, a data person, listen, data analytics is huge. Big data is huge. If you're into data or looking to get certified or take a boot camp and get into like machine learning and AI and big data, you can work anywhere doing anything you want, because that is such a hot field right now. Nike, a lot of people think to work at Nike, I have to either be working in their design, or I have to do something athletic or whatever, or something in marketing. But Nike is hiring for an HR manager of global tech. So if you like tech and you have HR experience and you love Nike as a brand, then listen, that's all the things coming together. Okay, Netflix is looking for someone to do financial operations for them. They are also looking for a senior software engineer to work on their audio algorithms. What is that? I have no idea. I actually went to the Netflix career site and they have so many jobs. And I'm like, I've never heard of any of these things in my life. So it was just really cool, because when you think Netflix, you think, okay, TV, film. But there's so much that goes into running that company. So there are so many opportunities there. They also have a product platform strategy person that focuses on planning and analysis. So if you've done a lot of planning in your life and a lot of analytical work, right? And then you look at the job description, you're like, I could do this. I could work on this product line. Boom. That could be you at Netflix. Okay. Google has, so when you think of the Googles and you think about the big tech companies, you think, oh, software engineer, I'm going to be a software engineer. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's incredible. But Google also has like 1 million jobs doing 1 million different things. And so 2 jobs I saw, Google has a cloud incentive compensation manager. So it sounds like someone who focuses on their compensation in the cloud division, right? So if you're really passionate about compensation in like the HR, if you're in the HR world, but you really love compensation, that could be perfect for you, right? You kind of niche down. And then they also had Google Shopping Sales Specialist. And so when you think about all these different positions, it's really about getting acquainted with different job descriptions and being like, wait, I could do that job. Even if I haven't done it before, I've done the things that have prepared me for that job. And all I have to do is properly position myself and tell the right story. And when I say tell the right story, I don't mean make things up that you've never done. We don't lie over here, okay? I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. We don't lie. But one thing I know that Black women are notorious for doing is underselling themselves, okay? Underselling, playing down how dope and incredible and amazing they are. And just because you haven't done a position before, like that specific position, does not mean you cannot do that position. It's you getting, what's the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue. Creative, and bringing together your story, bringing together all your skill sets and thinking, wait, I've done work like this before. I can do work like that over there. I think I also saw a position for like project management at FENTY Beauty. Hey, project management, a lot of people getting their PMPs. Why can't you do it for FENTY Beauty, okay? So those are like big companies that we love. So I really encourage you, if there are companies that you love that are doing things that you love and enjoy, and you're passionate about moving their products forward, you should definitely go to their career site and start researching. And of course, the first thing you do, you go and research, and don't go on there and just start auto applying to 5 million things. You, your mama, everybody's doing that. What you do is you get strategic and you get to know people on the inside. And this is what I teach all my clients. And so if you want strategies that will help you land your dream job and live a fulfilling life, and actually have you waking up in the morning going to companies that excite you, that are really cool, and you like come home and you're like flipping on Netflix, you're like, I work here. Or like, ooh, I did something that impacted that thing over there, that impacted that show that's listed right there. If you want that, then go to workwithec.com and fill out the really short application, and me and my team will be in contact with you. because we want to help you land your dream job and live a fulfilling and rich life. And so I'm really hoping that this conversation expands your mind and shows you what is possible. We just had a lady in our program that works with me. She just landed her dream job. She's teaching business, right, in her school district, and she doesn't have a teaching certification. She has an accounting background. She's super passionate about teaching, and she was able to position herself to show them that, listen, I can do this job and I will do it really, really well. And her confidence was on 100,000 because she was prepared. She had done the work, and they hired her, and that's the only role in the entire district. Like, that's the only position, and she got it, even though she does not have the certification as a teacher, and she is not a traditional teacher. So it's all about putting your skill sets together. It's all about crafting the right story. Another way to take, so after you've looked at, your big bad companies that you love, another avenue to go down is there are so many smaller, mid-sized companies, and I mean, these are multi-million dollar, like hundreds of millions of dollars. These companies, they're making good money, they're good, but you just don't know they exist because they're not super popular. And there's so much opportunity at these companies. A lot of them pay very well. And what happens at smaller companies is, because they're smaller or there isn't a ton of bureaucracy, you have opportunities to touch more things. You have opportunities to get exposed to more things. And then what you're able to do is you're able to build your skill set faster. You're able to build a wider variety of skills because you get more exposure to more projects, and there's just kind of more flexibility there. And so something to think about is when you start discovering these positions at some of your favorite companies, right? And you're just going through and you look at the title. Sometimes you might look at a title and just be like, that's interesting. What does that mean? Let me do more research, right? Let me look into that further. And then you take some of those titles. Some of them are unique. You might take some of the qualities from those titles and get on Glassdoor, get on LinkedIn, and start looking at those positions and seeing what companies come up and what openings come up. So you might look up something like instructional design, right? You might look up something like content developer and editors. A lot of you are super creative, and you think the only outlet you have for creativity is running your own business. Now, you are absolutely able to have your own business. Absolutely, I encourage you to build your own brand if you want to build your portfolio and do stuff on the side. But you can also get paid really well in your 9-to-5 to do the things you love outside of your 9-to-5, right? So content developer and editor is definitely a position you can look up, and there will definitely be openings. You can look up technical writer if you're into writing and you love to write. There's so much opportunity for writing. Fenty Beauty is actually looking for a senior copywriter right now, right? So senior copywriter, technical writer, guys, there's just no end to the number of positions that are out there. So when you properly look for these things and get a hold of what it is you want, right? And you have a vision and there's clarity, and you're not just auto applying to a million things. You've gotten clear on your purpose. You've gotten clear on your calling. You've gotten clear on what you desire. You've gotten clear on your qualifications, your skill set, what makes you great, and your confidence is on 100,000 because you've done the work now to uncover your story and uncover all your gems. When you start to approach this job attraction search, and that's what I call it, positioning yourself so you are attracting recruiters and you're attracting opportunities, the game is different. And when you have that focus and you know what you want, you show up to these conversations different. And there is a confidence. And I have clients that are landing their dream jobs because there's a focus and there's a confidence. They know what they want, right? We've worked on getting clear on what they want, and they're able to craft a resume in LinkedIn that makes it very clear that that's what they want and that's what they're good at, even if they're transferring industries. And then they're able to connect with people from the inside who then help them open the door and hand off their resume to hiring managers instead of it just getting lost online or getting sucked up by ATS machine. So if you are interested in finally living your wildest dreams out when it comes to your career and doing something you love, something that speaks to your heart, and get paid well to do it, because the positions I talked about today, they pay well, right? If that's you, I want you to go to workwithec.com, workwithisi.com. Fill out the super short application. Me and my team will be in contact with you. We cannot wait to help you live a rich and fulfilling life, to kill it in your career, to thrive beyond your 9-to-5.